everybody. Welcome to Lost Mine of Fandelver. I'm the DM, and with me are my wonderful players, Julia, Matt, Jean, and John. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Aloha.
Aloha, yes.
Hello.
Chish.
Cześć. Jak się masz?
All right. Just very quick announcements as always, and then we'll move forward. Thank you and welcome. Let's see. Next thing that is on the announcement list is if today's D&D is not enough for you, guess what? We have more tomorrow. Right here, same time, will be our Wildmount campaign that has been ongoing. Things have been going really interesting in that campaign as well. So if you still need that D&D fix and one night is not enough, guess what? Got another one coming tomorrow. Fridays, we do Friday Night Magic here at 8 p.m. We do Magic the Gathering Arena online. If you have the game already installed, it's probably your best bet if you'd like to actually play with me online on the stream. So if you're interested in Magic the Gathering Arena, and trust me when I say I am absolutely all for playing with friends and people on stream rather than just randos, please come by and play some Magic. It's always a lot of fun. This weekend last weekend I had to cancel my weekend streams, but they are rescheduled for this weekend. So I'll be playing some video games on Saturday at 4:30 on Old Man Plays Old Games. And then on Sunday, I will be doing Talking with the DM. As always, I always like to pimp out all my player stuff. Unconventional Heroes. Gene, do you want to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing Friday? Because that's a little different.
Sure. Yeah. Normally we would do Julia's Curse of Strahd game, but unfortunately we had some real life events which we had to cancel game. And so this week, Rennie and I are going to be debuting Dungeon Delvers, where we will delve into topics and try to do our best to explain points and our opinions. And our first topic will be what it takes to be a good player.
Awesome. So if you're not into Magic the Gathering Arena on Friday, please go to Unconventional Heroes and watch and show them some love. After Magic the Gathering, I always go to their channel anyway. So even if you want to do both, there will be opportunity to do so. Also, we have Matt, who's part of a magnificent cast of Monster of Week RPG, Good Neighbors. That has been interesting to say the least. I have been listening. You guys are hilarious. I love it. So if you do get a chance, please support them. You want to say a little bit about that, Matt?
It's a Monster of the Week live play podcast with the brilliant GM or keeper Leland Heed and a fantastic cast of people from various walks of life, just playing out a comedy horror story in the town of Constance, Louisiana.
So it's a lot of fun. So please, if you get a chance to give them a listen, please do so. John is the amazing author and voice actor, who obviously, besides playing Drovar, is just an amazing author and voice actor and all that stuff. You want to talk a little bit about Tales of the Left Hand?
Sure. Tales of the Left Hand is, as I say, a swashbuckling adventure and a dash of magic, basically. It's it's a sword and sorcery, adventure set in a tropical island chain. Two characters who become friends right at the start of the first book get slowly pulled into a bigger and bigger web of weirdness. And one has a little magic, the other is pretty good in a fight, and I do all the voices for everybody. So, if you like them, you can also just keep your fingers crossed, because if Drovar dies, I'll come in with a different voice entirely.
Well, let's not hope for that.
I don't want him to die.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
I listened to his book. I do want to hear different voices. Just gonna throw it out there. Not a vote toward him dying. I just want to hear more of John's voices.
And last but certainly not least is Julia. Julia is also an author, and she's also the DM for the Curse of Strahd campaign on Unconventional Heroes. So you want to talk a little bit about your stuff?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like Gene said, this week we're not doing it because of some personal things that came up. So we had to take a couple weeks off. But normally it is the group of 4 players and me, and I'm running them through their lands of Barovia, and it's just a lot of fun. We have a very close knit group and just really good chemistry, and the role play is just dead on, kind of like this group. So if you like this. For more of this, come watch Curse of Strahd with different people. And there's cats, too. I mean, according to John.
There's always room for cats.
Always.
So, all right. So thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So please support everything that they're doing. Again, I'm very happy to be able to not only run games for them and run games for so many different people, but I have this platform that I'm able to kind of like share them with all of you. So please support their stuff as well. Our all of our sub goals are slowly inching up, and it's always good to see those numbers slowly climbing. It means that you are being entertained and you enjoy what we do. So we're gonna keep doing it for as long as you want us to. So thank you for all of that. We do appreciate that. I can't wait till we actually get to our 100 subs goal at Twitch, because then we can actually start doing those giveaways of those 3D printed minis. It's going to be random. I'm going to have my players actually. I'm going to poll all of my players, not just these folks, but I'm also going to poll my other players to see which mini we will actually give away for the first time once we hit 100 Twitch subs. So I can't wait for that. And again, thank you for everybody who's been taking part in the Discord, subscribing to our YouTube, and our Patreon patrons. We are up to 5 now, which is amazing. So thank you so much for all of that support, and for all of you watching. Thank you again so much. It really does mean a lot to us. All right, so that's all I got as far as announcements are concerned. So let's get started. Last week, when we gathered together, you all had various interesting things happen to you last time we got together. Some of them were intentional, as Gorple began to meditate on this stone that he brought with him from his faraway homeland.
Let's call it like it is. I stole it. I stole it from my home. Let's be real.
And others were surprised by the certain things that happened to them. Some in a dream, some of them being yelled by crazy sky clowns, as they put it.
Crazy sky.
And others had books talk to them.
I have original Facebook. You see.
So it was very eventful time for all of you in various forms and fashions. And you all also began to plan your next steps. You met with Sildar, where you discussed both finding Gundren, possibly at Cragmaw Castle, so he could lead you to Wave Echo Cave, where possibly this is the beginning of where these lost mines that you've heard so much about since rescuing Sildar. Additionally, you learned from a number of folks in town that there were some other opportunities for you to do good, as they asked for your assistance, considering everything you had done for Findalen and what you did with the Red Brands. So you have a number of options in front of you. But the one thing that you all came to a very quick agreement on was you needed to get around. Warple had no such need, as he now has a built-in mount. with him at all times. However, the rest of you absolutely needed a way to get around. Bocek not so much, as he has crazy super speed and can actually keep up with a horse to a certain extent, which is insane, but it's totally doable. So again, the last part that we left off at, you had just finished purchasing at a discount, thanks to Sildar, 2 draft horses from the Lion Shield Coster, which are definitely going to help you in your travels. And you did come to some. You were kind of pointing in a certain direction of where you would like to go, but I don't think it was actually defined. This is where we're going first, and these are our steps. So I believe that is where we currently are. It's probably about like late morning, early afternoon at this point. So what would you all like to do?
Well, let's see. I think we were planning on our discussion was, now that we got the horses, probably get a fresh start in the morning, and we start riding. The idea was to go to Thunder Tree, correct? And just go across country to avoid the road, and the horses make a little better time. That was the plan.
Oh well, that's the farthest distance, and everything else is a little bit. I mean, they're all. I know that the weird ruins of Connieberry and Old Owl Well, that area where they told us to investigate we also didn't figure out what we wanted to do, because don't we have to go back and accept some of these jobs?
Well, yeah, but it's town so small, as you've said, so it won't take long for us to go accept them. But we've lost the morning for if we wanted to set off. I don't, do we want to start off, now, or we pick a spot and go? I thought, the fellow who knows supposedly where Cragmore Castle is, I can direct us to it. Last he was seen was up at Thunder Tree. Then there's that other woman who told us that her family left some treasure up there that's ours if we go up there. And we want to find Gundren. We could go over to Connieberry and the well and things like that. I know there's something, Basha, you're looking for something, right? But
Yes,
I'm not. It doesn't feel like there's as much clues to where Gundren is up that way. Could be wrong, but
we might find something there that makes it easier to find him. Maybe. Thoughts?
And of course, powerful, ancient, magical relics that could kill us all.
Or just be very, very fascinating. Maybe not kill. No, don't assume kill.
Okay, well, you put a maybe in there.
With magic, there's always a maybe. I'm sorry. There's always a risk. It's like fire.
I
There's
mean,
always a risk.
I like the idea of a person who speaks to nature and stuff, and who has answers, and that's kind of what our halfling friend inferred. That they know things, but I'm very much against digging into wizard stuff. Just I threw that out there. I'm not opposed, but I'm like very much against it.
I like idea of Basha looking into wizard stuff. I get to see pretty fireworks.
I like you, Bocek. You are a good person.
All right, so are we actually split down the middle on this?
I mean, I want to go to all these other places too, so I'm flexible. I really do want to go see that as well.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't go, but I think getting a lead on where Gundren is, because we saw the condition Sildar was in, with the goblins.
Yes.
Don't think we want to leave Gundren in their hands any longer, and we have to.
Well, the lead was in Thunder Tree also, right? Near
Right,
ruins or whatever. So then we should just go there first.
Yeah,
and then from there we can go.
Yeah, well, Old Owl Well, I think, is where they call it that, but that's where those ruins with the magic is. It's the opposite, the completely other side of those big woods, which I'm pretty sure we're not cutting straight through. But I think, that's my suggestion. Basically, is we head up to Thunder Tree, see what we can find, get more information about where Gundren might be. If it turns out it's closer, the location is closer to where those other sites are, then all the better. If not, we get him out, and once he's patched up, then we start poking around for other things. Maybe then we start looking into these ruins that you're interested in and see if we need more power against the spider.
Yes, always good thing.
Okay. So, are you going to currently make your way to Thunder Tree? Or are you going to take the rest of the day to kind of finish things up here in Findalen? What would you like to do in that regard?
I think we should leave. It's looking like a roughly 50-mile trip from Fandolin, and so that's going to take us 2 days either way, a day and a half either way. So I think if we leave now in the morning, camp on the road, or camp by the forest maybe at night, and then make the shorter end of the journey so that we're fresh when we go into Thunder Tree.
Works for me.
Sounds fine with me too.
Okay. Alrighty. So, you begin to make your way back to the inn. Pack up the rest of your belongings. Now that you have these horses who seem to be used to manual labor and hauling and things of that nature, they seem not perturbed at all when you start actually throwing all of your belongings on them and saddling them up and getting them ready to go. Warple, you and Teague still are just a display for everyone here in town as you make your way back and forth. Again, not a very large town to begin with, but news of your interesting riding mount has reached the ears of a number of the children, who are now just keeping a very, very good distance away from you, but definitely following you and just kind of like looking at this strange mount that the Frogman is riding on.
Well, now that I'm double weird, can I stop and get, like, I don't know, a gold worth of jerky from the provisions place so that I have some extra food for my companion?
Sure. Yeah, that's not a problem. You would say with a gold's worth of jerky, I mean, you have at least a month's worth.
All right, let's make that like, how about an electrum worth of jerky?
Okay. All right. That'll last you about 2 weeks.
I was gonna say I would like to do something similar, but with apples for my horse.
Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be for for 1 gold you can absolutely get again at least a month's worth of apples split between the 2 horses.
I do get them because I'm looking at Bocheck while I'm getting them, and I'm like, I get some for you too, okay? Okay, yes, okay, not now. Okay, fine now. All right.
All right. That'll be 2 weeks worth for the horses now that Bocheck is involved in the equation. So, all right. So, once you're all packed up, you begin your journey on your way to Thunder Tree.
We'll just swing by and let Sildar know. It's like, okay, that's where we are going, and we're heading out now with the intention of we hopefully find someone who knows about Cragmaw Castle. That's our objective.
So, and he's he's like, that's good work. I mean, now if you can get a lead, probably get a more specific location. That's perfect. So,
right. If Shulger, a messenger from him, comes by, just pass that along. That's where I've gone.
All right, no, absolutely. I will make sure to make note of that, and then if anyone comes asking, definitely inform them.
I kind of just whisper over to Drovar. Before we leave town, I'll leave a note in the drop area for him.
Oh, okay, that's a good spot too, in case he does want to come into the town.
So, you, with that, Sildar wishes you all good luck. You begin to make your way out of Findalen. And now what I would like is a marching order for all of you.
Could I check the drop area to see if Shrug has left us anything in the past few days?
Sure. Make a perception check for me, please. Actually, no, this is going to be investigation. You're actively looking.
12.
12. Yeah, at the drop area, specifically around the drop area, you're starting to look around, and you notice that there is this. It just looks like this very thick tree branch that is somewhat shaved, and very out of place, but it looks like it's somewhat hidden underneath some leaves. And you go and you pull it out, and as you pull it out, you can see that there is a rune carved into it that is the same rune that you remember seeing on Shug's shield. And the impression you're getting is that there's no message other than this, but the impression you get is this is his way of actually saying that he's okay.
I showed a Drovar, and then I'll just I will write him a note. We are heading toward Thunder's Tree. It's about 50 miles north, about 20 miles east. I think east of Neverwinter.
Mhm.
50 miles north from here, and beware. I'll kind of give the information about the bounty on orcs.
Okay.
He knows that to be careful.
Right.
And that if he has any information on Wyvern Tor that he might be able to help us with, so that we can get rid of the bad orcs that are, unless he can socially. It's like the idea is like, what should we do about Wyvern Tor? Bad, good. We'll check within a week or two, and
Gotcha.
I'll wrap that stuff back up, put it underneath the area where I have the rock that covers the drop area.
Mhm. Okay.
I'll cut off that little bit of wood with the carved his rune on it, and I just tuck that away. It's like proof of life.
Yep.
Just keep collecting those.
And Drovar, as you're looking at it and you're holding it, just because of the way you were brought up and where you lived, both you and Shug, you realize that it looks like the beginning of a handle of some kind of either weapon or something, as if he was actually starting to make something. And then as you inspect the rune itself that he's carved into the handle, you look at it and you can see he's taken his time on it. It doesn't seem rushed, and you take that as a good sign. You take that as that he had a moment to actually do this, to sit down. There was no hesitant. This in his words, good craftsmanship.
Right.
Even though it's the beginning of creating something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not done with undue haste. So yeah, he'll keep the whole thing then, rather than just kind of break off that one little piece. If it's part of something he was working on, it's like, well, he might need it later. Yeah, I'll just hang on to that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so you all begin to make your way out of Fendelin proper. I need a marching order from all of you. Who is taking a point?
Not first.
I'll say, why don't since you guys have giant draft horses, why don't me and Bocek take front, because we stay the same speed. We both have pretty sharp eyes, and then you two come from behind, and if we see anything on the path that you need to avoid, we can give warning.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. These things don't steer very fast. Sounds
No.
like riding ox, but they go forward. We'll work with that.
All right, so Gorple and Bocek are taking the lead, and then Basha and Drovar are taking up the rear. Alrighty. All right, so the first half of as you are basically starting your travels midday, you're only going to be able to travel another maybe 4 or 5 hours before sundown begins to happen. You actually make some pretty good time. What I would need is Gorple and Bocek to please make survival checks for me. Okay, Gorple?
Out of 6, I'm really sleepy.
Bocek?
23.
23.
Dang.
Nice. All right, so Gorple, you are riding Teague. Bocek is you're doing your best. You're kind of keeping up. You're all going at a regular pace. So it's not too strenuous for you, Bocek, as you're making your way. Um, and Gorple, you are just transfixed by Teague. You are, you are exhausted, but at the same time, you're not paying attention to your surroundings. You're just kind of every now and then you are kind of nodding off, but when you are awake and aware, you are just kind of petting the top of Teague's head and just becoming very familiar with your new companion. So you don't realize it when Bocek, you actually ahead of you as you're getting ready to look for a spot for you all to kind of camp for the evening. You do find this area off to the side that seems to be, the grass is flattened. There's not a lot of rocks, big large rocks or boulders and broken trees. So it looks like a pretty good place to camp. And then as you kind of direct everybody in that direction, and you start looking a little more, you can see what seems to be that's why the grass is flattened. It looks like something happened in this area. Like there was at least one or two people around here. They were either fighting or something. But just a lot of movement in this area that kind of flattened the grass, and the most you can make out is maybe about like two individuals were here. They're no longer here, but you can see what looks like footsteps and dragging further north of this campsite that you found for your companions. Do with that what you will.
People apparently camp here before us. I think one of them drink too much, other one have to drag them to a tree line to puke.
Wait, really? And when she says that, I'm going to investigate.
Sure, make an investigation check for me.
I'll go with her. I'm not terribly good at the investigation. I'm
only a
just making sure
9.
nothing jumps out.
Sure, okay, no problem. What'd you get, Basha?
I only got a 9, so clearly I'm like too tired or just like, yes, that seems right. They're probably drunk.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not a lot of light, Drovar, do you want to investigate, or are you just
I'll take a look. I'm not.
okay?
14.
14. Okay,
I
yeah.
do
So
have dark vision. Maybe it's a little easier to see.
yeah, it's just a bit easier for you. Basha just kind of takes a very cursory glance and just like, oh yeah. I think Bocek's right. But you take a look and
What about over here?
yeah.
Oh wait, what? Over there?
Yeah, and as you actually say that, you can see there's little splotches of this red, thick liquid, and you get a little closer, you kind of stick your finger in it. Oh yeah, that's blood. And as it progresses further into the thick part of the tree line, you can see that there's more and more splotches of blood, very clearly delineating somebody was dragged in this area, and they are bleeding.
Hold up. This is no, it's not puke. No, Gorb, we need.
Your friend was bleeding. You're drunk.
Yeah,
person.
Gorb, we're gonna need a little track in here. There was something didn't go down right around here.
Okay. And I'll kind of ride over and I'll go, all right, Teague. Why don't you try to get a scent? And DM, I would like to give Teague the help action and make him make a survival check.
Sure, no problem. Go for it.
That will be a 13.
All right. So Teague just kind of, you say this to Teague, and Teague, and just kind of goes forward. You watch the large nostrils just breathe in, and it kind of cocks its head slightly, and then just begins to move forward into the actual tree line, but stops and then turns to wait to see if you follow.
I don't. Yeah, if I follow him.
Okay.
I kind of go.
I'll come along.
All right, so Teague begins to move in at this point in time as you were beginning to make camp. Your horses have been tied. There are some trees there. You've been able to tie your horses and stake them down. You begin to actually put your belongings down. But Gorpal, Drovar, Bocek, and Basha, are you staying behind or are you following as well?
It's dark,
Basha,
right?
maybe you go. I watch horses.
Yes, that sounds good. You stay with horses. I'll go.
Okay. All right. So Gorpal, you watch as Teague just continues to sniff, occasionally licking at the blood, sticking its head up, just looking very carefully. The nostrils flare again as it breathes in deeply. It seems to catch something, and then continues in a direction, constantly going north, further into this tree brush. It is very dense, but very clearly now that you're following Gorpal, Drovar, and Basha, you can absolutely see broken twigs just snapped. The ground itself that is flattened, all of the grass is flattened, and there's more, and you're watching more and more blood. About
I was gonna say, DM, could I make a nature check to try to figure out what kind of is this like an animal drag someone or a big person?
that would be more of a survival check. So yeah, you can definitely give that a shot.
I actually have proficiency in that. I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I'm so sleepy.
I do really well underground. Apparently, I rolled a 6.
All right, Gorpal, what'd you get?
Natural 1 for a 5.
Okay. Yeah, Gorpal, that's a lot of blood. You don't know. Probably an animal got dragged this way, something like that, but that's a lot of blood. Drovar, yeah, you're not sure. It could be it's something with a lot of blood. It's definitely a lot of blood. And Basha, you're just kind of like, oh, it's sticky.
I don't like.
Yeah, you're just kind of like trying to walk around this trail of smeared blood on flattened grass.
I'm like holding my skirt up like above the ground. Like no.
It's about another 25 feet or so where Gorpal, you watch his Teague just stops and kind of puts its head down into like some heavy, like some very tall, heavy, thick grass, and then lifts its head back up, and it has something in its mouth, something big, for it, and it turns around, and you see it has what looks like a halfling, just in its mouth.
I'll be like, hold on, let go, and I'll try to, I'll like pull the halfling out.
Yeah, he lets go, just drops.
Can I check? But does that look like a dead halfling?
Make a medicine check.
Do I see this? Because I actually want to make a medicine check too. Once I
there's actually no light, and it's
then no.
getting pretty dark. So I would start to say you don't see it yet.
I got an 8.
8. Well,
All right. I'll draw the longsword, the magic longsword. Does that glow?
it does not.
Okay, then I will say. Really, Drovar realizes he's probably the only one that can see, among the party members.
Okay.
So he's like, Basha, if you can make some light, you're gonna need this. There's at least part of somebody in that thing's mouth.
I can firebolt a tree branch and hope it catches fire.
You don't have like a light sort of thing?
No, I don't know that one.
All right. Well, how about this? Why don't we take this thing or person back to camp? And it's definitely a person. I can't tell if they're breathing.
I will light a torch. Now
I can see.
Torches, these things that,
So Drovar, you light a torch, and Gorpal, now you can clearly see. Not only is he not breathing, this seems to be the source of most of the blood, as there are what looks like from he's just wearing, it seems like regular that are just soaked in blood. You can see blood actually coming up his neck, around his face. But at this point in time, you actually can't see, the source of these cuts or why he's bleeding. But you can just see, just seems to be soaked in blood.
Basha, why don't you check this guy out? I bet he's probably has injuries on his back, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna turn him over and I'll make a medicine check.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll stand over that and just hold the torch up so she can see. But I'm kind of looking out elsewhere.
All right. No worries. What'd you get, Basha?
They hate me, and I've said that they hate me. That is only a 7.
7. You begin to
The blood is like I can't.
you begin to kind of check, and you can see that his shirt is somewhat lifted, and you find a tree branch and you kind of pull it up slightly, and you can see these just holes in his stomach and chest where the blood seems to have been coming from. At least a dozen. And not very big. They're maybe about half an inch to an inch wide. In various places all about his chest. But you're not sure what this did this.
Yeah, I kind of stumble back and like take a breath, and I'm like, the man is like cheese with holes. It's terrible. There's so many. I can't look.
Does it look like anything? I mean, does he have all his limbs? Did something eat part of him?
I don't know. There's just lots of holes in him, like a dozen of them.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. He has all his limbs. Two arms, 2 legs. He seems to be, for the most part, intact, other than the loss of blood and the holes.
Perforations. Yeah.
Yes.
I have no proficiency in medicine. I mean, I'm a ex-military person. Do these look like, somebody was standing up when the arrows came, or some other type of injury?
I would probably say, just, given your background, arrows absolutely make different types of holes.
Okay.
These seem to be, and they're all different sizes. They're not all the same.
Okay.
They're not all uniform, but they are all circular. It's very odd. You're not sure what made these.
Okay. Well, the next question then is, has he been stripped of like any valuables? Does he still have?
Make an investigation check.
Yeah. I'll all right. I'll loot him. That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Dwarven greed gets you through every time.
Oh yeah. So you begin to kind of check him, and you're actually now you're just like whoop, you're just flipping him over, turning him around. He's still wearing his boots. He still has pants on. He still has his shirt, everything. And you're just going, and as you flip him over, you can see that there is still a small pouch attached to his belt. And as you pull it off and you kind of give it a shake, it sounds like there's coin in there. You open it up and you go through it, and there's 27 pieces of silver and 53 pieces of gold. Not gold, copper. I'm sorry, didn't mean to get you excited. And with that natural 20, as you start flipping them over, you actually see that there's something sticking out of his boot, and you're just like, oh, and you just start yanking his boots off.
You gotta check the heels, because they often. It's often
I'd be right with you, but I can't today.
No, it's all right. I've got this. I remember, and kind of tapping like the heels of it if he's got boots, like with the little, like the hilt of the knife, just to hear if there's anything hollow. It's like, I know they hide things in here all the time.
Yeah. So as you pull the boots off, one of the boots, you see another small pouch just fall out of his boot. And you open this one up, and there's 12 gold in there.
Okay. I collect up the coins, hand them to the disperser of accounts.
Oh, thank you. This I'm comfortable with.
He's got no more use for it.
Well, wait, they didn't rob him, so...
That's what's confused me. If he's got all his pieces, then it wasn't an animal that carried him off and ate him.
I mean...
And it was somebody who murdered him they didn't steal anything. I guess the last thing I'll look for, is there anything like where blood isn't, like an empty space on a finger where a ring might have been, or like smearing around the neck like something was there and got pulled off. It's like if they were the only thing that Drovar is left with is they killed him for a thing, and that's all they wanted.
With a natural 20 for your investigation check, you are extremely thorough. And in fact, when you're done with him, you look like you roughed him up. Like you were actually mugging him or trying to get something out of him. But through all of that, you don't find any empty spot, like anything that was taken. You do find that as you flip him over, that these perforations are actually on his back as well, and the back of his neck. You can see also on the back of his hands where it seems like these perforations, there's like maybe 3 or 4 on the back of his hands that seem to have been covered by the thick, just thick blood that just kind of caked on there. And almost like he was trying to defend himself from something, and was no, just on the back of his head, like holding his hands up to his face, possibly, because you see no perforations on his face.
Right.
So as if he was just trying to stop something from happening, and got a few of them on the back of his hands. But you don't see, you're not getting the impression that this was a targeted attack for something specific.
So he's got holes on the front of him, like he was like this, but also holes on his back?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Neither player nor character has any idea what happened to this poor guy.
And I was gonna say, I am skilled in medicine, and I know I failed, but like, can I just as Drovar is can I look closer and see if I can figure out what the holes themselves are?
Yeah, I will say, as Drovar is kind of telling you all of this, and kind of relaying all of this information, and it's clear that this wasn't like a targeted specific attack. The only thing you can think of that is this possibly animal related.
Yeah. It's funny. We said maybe this animal that dragged off, maybe it is an animal. Because it wasn't like somebody was stealing something, I don't know what kind of animal causes holes like this, but...
Well, it's just got the idea that maybe these are... something was left in there that hatches. Let's just...
I'm gonna walk away now.
We're just gonna leave him right here, I
Yeah,
think.
he can stay right there. Sorry, sir. No, I'm not burying it. Goodbye.
Could I make a nature check now to see if I've heard of any creatures or animals that do this?
Yeah, I would go ahead. Make a nature check for that.
Ooh, not so sleepy now. 13.
13. You've heard, especially in Chult, but you've not heard of them actually existing here. You've heard of creatures, rather nasty creatures known as sturges, that do have long proboscises that they use to attack and suck the blood of their victims.
I hate it.
And again, you're even kind of doubting this for a moment, because they couldn't exist here. You've only heard about them at home, but it seems very familiar. And with this many holes in them, he was probably overwhelmed.
Well, it's rare, and I never heard of it here, but it could be a nest of sturges.
Sturges.
Yeah, they're like if a bat and a leech had a baby,
What?
and it was even worse than what I just said.
Okay, so did it lay eggs in him? Because now I'm just gonna burn the body.
No, it didn't lay eggs in him. I guarantee that body's probably desanguinated.
Yeah, but there's just blood everywhere.
Listen, they're not precision animals. They just suck. And I'm sure like a mosquito, when it gets full, it just leaves. So what? I kind of look at the wounds. What, maybe 12 sturges did this? It's a small halfling. Maybe less?
Maybe less, maybe more. You're not entirely sure.
All right, I don't like that.
Okay.
How do you get rid of them? Do you make large fires?
I mean, I imagine fire is always a deterrent toward
Okay,
animals.
We're gonna burn a very big fire tonight with lots of smoke. Smoky fire.
Bocek. At
Oh
this
no.
at this point in time, you are with the horses. I need you to make a perception check for me, please.
They're gonna eat our horses.
No.
$15.
15. So the rest, Drovar, Gorpal, and Basha had, they went off to kind of investigate the drunk guy that went off into the forest. And you've been slowly kind of brushing the horses and talking with them, trying to get to know them a little better. You've already fed them, an apple or two, and they seem very, very calm, very relaxed. And you begin kind of putting your bedroll down and making the area comfortable for everybody else. And you start to wonder why this guy got drunk, who this guy was. You're trying to kind of piece it together yourself, right? This is an interesting mystery. I wonder what this could be. And you start thinking, it's like, well, it obviously started here. And so you begin to kind of look around. And you don't see anything in particular, and all of a sudden you hear a and it's coming from above you, and you kind of look up and you see what look like almost like leather, like almost like these green leathery cocoons that are just hanging in one of the topmost branches of this tree that you have your horses tied to. And they're kind of like slowly rocking kind of back and forth. But they don't seem to, whatever they are, like, it's just so weird. Maybe they're like big, like leathery coconuts or something. You're not sure, but they're pretty high up there. But you can actually see them because the sound that you heard was one of them actually like hitting one of the tree branches as it was swinging. It's kind of a breezy evening, so it kind of you kind of think, oh, the wind kind of like blew them. But those are strange looking fruit. What would you like to do about that, Bocek, if anything?
Trying to decide if the fruit looks tasty or not.
Make a straight intelligence check for me, would you, Bocek?
Vaya con Dios.
We knew you will.
What'd you get, Bocek?
3 minus 2, that's a 1.
That's a 1. You know what? That's you've seen bright green fruit before, and this is like a darker green. That means it's probably pretty ripe.
I know exactly how to get one down and taste it. I take out a dart.
Okay. All right, go for it. Roll for an attack.
$17.
17 absolutely hits. Roll damage.
6 damage.
6 damage. Hold on a second. All right, so you throw this dart, and you watch as it hits the closest of these leathery fruits, and as it does, you hear like, oh wow, it sounds juicy, and it immediately falls. And as it does, and it falls into your hand, you watch as the cocoon opens up into this strange creature that looks like a mixture of the face almost looks like a mosquito. The belly looks distended and large, and you can see these clawed feet that were obviously what it was hanging from. This isn't a fruit. It's clearly dead. And you now have what looks like a lot of blood just pouring all over your hands. And as this happens, you hear, and you look up, and you see 4 more of these. Now you know these creatures. Their wings begin to extend. Bashik, Warple, and Drovar, I need you all to make perception checks for me, please.
Oh no!
Basha, what'd you
These
get?
dice hate me. These dice hate me. I got a 6.
Okay, Gorple.
Muted.
Sorry, at disadvantage 19, and T got an 18.
So you got an 18. Okay, Drovar.
10.
10. Okay. Basha, you don't hear it because you're completely disgusted by this man and finding out that it's possibly these creatures that actually like suck blood and did this. You're just you're like in your own head like, oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh, I don't know. Gorple and Drovar, in the direction from your camp, you hear and yeah, that's what you hear.
The horses!
Yeah, I jump onto my dinosaur and ride.
Yeah, you start making your way back. I need you all to roll initiative for me, please.
I'm going back to my own dice because I don't like these digital dice anymore. If these were real dice, I would have thrown them out by now.
Alright.
Oh, and I still rolled a 6.
Yeah, it's just you tonight.
Yeah, it's just you tonight.
It's me. It's me.
Alrighty. So, okay, let's see. Alright, Basha, what'd you get?
6
Thanks.
for the fight with the forbidden avocados.
Yes. Bocek?
18. These digital dice really like me tonight.
Gorple.
I got a big 4.
4. Okay.
Large 4.
Large 4. And Drovar.
15.
15. Okay. Alright. Bocek, what is your dexterity modifier? It's plus what? 2 or 3?
Dexterity is +3.
Wow. Okay. So you are gonna get to go first. As these creatures, and there's not gonna be a battle map for this. This will just be a lot of theater. We're gonna kind of theater of the mind this a little bit. Bocek, you now have this creature just bleeding in your hands. You look up. The wings are extending of these creatures. They are about the size of the body itself is like the size of a cat, like a Maine Coon cat, which are pretty big. And then their wings are just leathery nastiness. Like it's just you can actually see holes in some of the wings themselves. And as they extend, you hear them. And they begin to kind of stare down at you, and you can see that their eyes are just their eyes are completely black, and on the opposite sides of their heads, and so they're just kind of like staring down at you with their one black eye facing down at you. It is your go first. What would you like to do?
They're out of punching range, right?
Yeah, they're about, I want to say they're about 10, maybe 15 feet up.
Can I hold my attack and wait for them to swoop down at me?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Put my bloody hands in front of me since it seems the blood's attracting them?
Yep, you can do that. All right. So you kind of stand there, waiting for them to come down, so you can just punch them. Not a problem. Um, all right. So that's good because they're next. Um, so as you watch as they all release from the branches that they are hanging from, and they begin to essentially just dive right at you. The first one is going to be does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one comes down, and immediately just right in your shoulder, you watch as its long nose. To you, it just looks like a big nose. Its long, thin nose just goes right into your shoulder. And you're just like, what? You were expecting it to come right at you, but you do get your reaction first. So go ahead and make that punch, because if you make that punch, you probably won't actually do much damage to you, if any.
Well, instead of I mean, I'd get an attack of opportunity regardless, I think, but no, I wouldn't.
No,
Instead
this is your reaction. This is your reaction.
No, instead of a reaction, I was looking to hold my turn until after they went.
Oh, so after they went. Okay, because you can.
So that they would be in striking range.
Well, this one comes down and is absolutely in striking range for you. So you can actually, because you were holding your action, you can hit it first. If you do miss it, it actually did hit you. So that's why we were just kind of rolling for that. So so you can take a swing at it now. It is definitely within your reach. So roll to hit.
21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that absolutely hits.
And 9 damage.
Okay, as it comes down, and you can see that its long nose is getting ready to go into your shoulder. It looks really sharp. You just haul off, and it just explodes as your fist just hits it, and you're just splattered with blood now, just all over your face, all over. It like a water balloon pinata, filled with blood. Just explodes as you punch it. And it's just like, oh. So it didn't actually hit you because you got it first. But that was your held action. The other 3 are going to try and now hit you. So first one, the natural 1 does not hit you. The second one, that's a 24 to hit. And then the third one, that's a 14 to hit. Does a 14 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so the first one, as it comes flying down, it actually gets splattered with the blood and guts of the one that you exploded, and it actually it sends it flying away from you, and does not even reach you to actually hit. However, the other 2, one goes for the other shoulder, and the other one goes right for your chest. And that is going to be the first one. That is going to be 7 piercing damage. And it is now attached to your shoulder. And you can feel it just sucking the blood out of your shoulder. And yeah. The second one in your chest, that is going to be 4 piercing damage. And that one has now attached itself to your chest, and you can feel it sucking the blood from your chest. That is their turn. Next up is Drovar.
Well, hearing the sound of Ride of the Valkyries coming up somewhere in the clearing, as these things descend on Bocek, I'm like, oh no! And just start running.
Yeah.
As fast as my little dwarf legs will take me. How far into the woods are we?
All right, so you are all about 45 to 50 feet into the actual brush.
Okay. I will use my action and then my bonus action, my movement and action to move, so that puts me at 50.
Okay. So yeah, so at this point, with 50, yeah, you make it out of the brush, and you can clearly see your campsite, and you can see Bocek covered in blood, and there are these two large green things, just one attached to his shoulder and one attached to his chest, and Bocek looks very confused, and you can see one off to the side, just like floating in the air, kind of covered in blood and viscera as well.
Are there any others flying around?
Make a perception check.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking, like, I think Gorbel mentioned, like, possibly a dozen of these things, and I'm like, oh god, not that. Only a 10.
A 10. You look around. Those are the only ones that you currently see. But that is your turn. All right. So it is now Basha's turn.
Right. So as soon as I'm out of, the tree line edge, like once I can see past it to see these things attacking Bocek, is there a way
You
I
would
can't
be
see that from where I am?
if you use your full movement, you would still be in the tree line and have a hard time seeing the actual campsite in Bocek. So you would actually, to get out of the brush and actually see and actually see everything, you would actually have to take your movement and the dash action to kind of.
Okay, then I'll do that so that I'm back.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back to everybody, so that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. So
but I will stop at the tree line so that I can duck back into the trees for cover if I have to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I just want to be able to see what's going on. So
Okay.
I want to get out there.
Yeah, no, easy enough. You're able to do that, and you use your movement, your full movement. You take the dash action. You do that, and just as you're getting out of the tree line, you see the same thing Drovar does. These disgusting-looking creatures just attached to Bocek. Bocek covered in blood, and one of them just kind of flying behind him, like right by the back of his head, back of his neck area.
Bocek, no!
All right. So now it is Vorpal's turn.
I will ride Teague. His speed is 40.
Yeah.
Do I
Okay.
get to the edge of the wood line within that first move, or do I need to move again?
You would need to move again. You're almost out of it, but you're still in it, so you'd have to move one more time to get out.
Okay, so I will use my bonus action to command Teague to move closer.
Okay.
And so I don't want to get in melee range.
Mhm.
So I want to move into the clearing, and that one that's still flying, because I'm not going to just shoot arrows at Bocek, because that seems rude.
Okay.
I will I kind of like whip he does like that kind of like turn, and as I kind of on the side, I will fire my light crossbow at the one fluttering above Bocek.
All right, go for that. Yeah.
That will only be a 13.
13. Fortunately, just misses. So as you run by and you see it and you take a shot at it, it's still very dark. Even with the small fire going that Bocek began, you got a bead on it, but you just miss it.
All right, I'm finished.
Okay. Back at the top of the round, Bocek, it is your turn. You have these two creatures attached to you. There's one kind of like flying behind you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to punch myself in the shoulder to kill the one on my shoulder.
Okay, go for it.
$24 on that one.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
For 8 damage.
Okay. as you punch yourself, and you're trying to be very, very careful. You don't want to punch yourself in the shoulder and like dislocate your shoulder. That would be bad. So you're just trying to aim, and as you look at this creature who is just actively just sucking the blood out of your shoulder, you can see that its already distended stomach is now growing bigger and bigger, and you can see it in real time as it's happening, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna punch the stomach because that's the biggest part of it, and you just bam, and as you punch it, it just explodes. Just again, another bloody balloon pinata just all over, and you're now even more drenched in blood. And its body is just limply just hanging while its proboscis is still in your shoulder. So it's just kind of like very limply just hanging there. What would you like to do now?
For my bonus action, I'm going to use Flurry of Blows, and the way I see it is I punch myself in the shoulder so hard I force myself to spin around and accidentally slap the one behind me.
Okay, go for it.
It's only a 12, so I missed that one.
Yeah. You're just kind of like, as you spin, it just kind of throws your aim off slightly, and you actually watch it just, they're actually very, very, very quick, and it does actually just fly out of the way.
And then for my last attack in Flurry of Blows, because I spent a key point for it, I will fall forward from spinning too much and try to land on the one in my chest.
Go for it.
And apparently I land on my shoulder instead because that's only a 10.
Yeah, it's the spinning part. I mean, it worked before when you actually held your fists out and you spun that. It should have worked this time, but unfortunately, you think it's probably these creatures are just throwing you off. So yeah, you actually when you spin, you go to aim for the stomach, but the momentum just keeps you going, and you do land on the shoulder. And so the one on your chest is still there, just kind of sucking your blood. Alrighty, so it is now the creature's turn. So the one that is on your chest does not have to roll to hit. It just continues to suck blood for 7 piercing damage. Actually, 7 blood loss damage. How you doing?
I've got 11 after that.
Okay. And the one that's flying is now actually going to fly right at you now that you are prone, and it does have advantage. It is going to try and get at you. Wow. I rolled an 8 and a 7. But the 8 so 13 does not hit you, right? Right. So yeah. So as you're still rolling on the ground, it just kind of misses and just jabs at the ground, and then just kind of pulls away to just still like hovering around you, trying to get at you. Okay, Drovar.
Okay, so he's got one on him and one that's like trying to stab down at him, and he's rolling back and forth to get away from it. Okay.
Yeah.
I will run up, take out the longsword, because I think this is time for slightly more precise. Basically, I'm going to try golf swing, with the longsword at the one that's still flying around. It just 4.
Yeah, go for it. Roll for attack. Right. Yeah, these things are really disgusting looking. There's like tufts of hair.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with using this guy. A total of 10.
10. Yeah, it's something about the longsword. You're not 100% familiar with it, and these little creatures are fast. And as you swing, you're just slightly up, and it just as you do, and it sees it and just flies out of the way. All right, so that is Drovar's turn. Next up is Basha. Basha, you can now very clearly see everything that's happening.
Okay, yeah, I definitely I'm gonna firebolt the one I think is safest to firebolt. So if it's like if I'm at an angle that I can't hit it without hitting
Oh well, yeah,
hitting
yeah.
him, I won't.
Bocek. No, Bocek is on the ground, kind of rolling around on the ground, and it's kind of hovering
Perfect. I'm going
above
for
him.
that one.
Yeah.
Going for that one.
Okay.
So yeah, so I kind of grab my spellbook and I'm like, Wojciech, help me! And I'm like shouting at the mosquito, well not mosquito, the scourge, and I'm like, yes, this talking cretin! I'm calling it a cretin. And a cretin.
I
And
I thought that you had named me Jan. Am I back to Wojciech?
No, you already on. You already on. I'm yelling at thing, help me! I'm gonna firebolt it.
Okay, go for it.
Hang, let me roll it. Does a 15 hit?
Oh, 15 absolutely hits.
I guess it decided it liked me finally. Okay. Oh, and that's gonna be 8 fire damage as I shoot it.
Yeah, you can see it hovering above Bocek. It looks like it's getting ready to make another attack to kind of go for his neck, which is very exposed at this point. And as it begins its dive, your firebolt just hits it and it just explodes. Bocek, you're covered in even more blood. This blood is warmer. It's actually hot. Ooh, it's pretty hot. And it's just,
gross.
yeah, and you're just like, still rolling around, and you still have this one it's just latched onto your chest, just sucking the blood right out of your chest. All right, that's Bosch's turn.
Can I also move? Sorry, I'm gonna
Sure.
move just to get a better angle on the one that's on him if I need to for the next turn. Like,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
If I can hit him hit it without hitting him, I'll move there for next time.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely angle yourself to give yourself a better shot if you need to. All right. So next up is now Corporal.
Using this hunting tactic, Teague and I will circle to kind of flank over our downed friend with Drovar, and Teague will attempt to fucking bite the shit out of this thing. Are we technically flanking?
Yeah, at this point you would be technically flanking, yeah.
I imagine a 12 will miss.
Yeah, Bocek is he's just rolling around uncontrollably at this point, like, hot blood, you know. It's just like he's not making a lot of sense, but you're just like, and Teague does miss, and he just
So, and as my action, I just draw my short sword and try to skewer it very quickly.
Okay, go for it.
Uh, 21.
21 does hit.
Mosquito shish kebab.
That will be 6 unless you need the poison that may or may not affect it.
No, because as you skewer this creature, again, Bocek, just more blood, it explodes right all over you, and then you look down. It's no longer sucking your blood or moving, but again, its proboscis is pretty deep into your chest, and it's just limply hanging there. And at this moment in time, you all look around. You seem to be out of harm's way. There doesn't seem to be any immediate threat happening at the moment. And Bocek just stands up, drenched in blood, with these two creatures just limp, their bodies just hanging from him.
Teague will snatch one off.
Yeah, I'll go reach the other. It's like, hold still, that sticks.
Wait, they're not supposed to pull out a stab wound. Alright, never mind. Just
Well,
do it.
you'd better leave the thing in there. And no barbs at
Yeah,
least.
okay.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Those were not avocados.
No, forbidden
No, they weren't,
avocados. No.
Huh. I would like to collect the proboscises because that could be a good way to make an arrow that could administer poison.
Sure. I will say, roll a medicine check for me.
It was almost 2 15s, and then it became a 7.
7. Out of the four actually out of the 5 that you kind of go around and you actually can see that there are 5 of these individuals. Unfortunately, only one of the proboscises seems to be intact enough for you to possibly do something with.
I hate stabby bugs. These were horrible.
But now we have dinner.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not going to eat that.
Nope.
How? I eat the cooked one.
All right, we'll watch you see how that
I mean,
goes
technically, you
for
just ate some of Bocek's blood. You should be
And the
ashamed of
halfling
yourself.
blood.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not going to bother you, is it?
you got
It's
to heal our friend.
Warple. It's not bad.
I mean, there's nothing
Warple,
better than what?
You may experience symptoms of drinking alcohol after eating my blood.
Well, luckily that one didn't stab you, so that's the cooked one. But if you're all gonna waste this food, Teague kind of looks around, and just starts eating the other 4.
Yeah, it just gobbles them up very, very quickly.
All right, I really hope it doesn't develop a taste for Bocek's blood now.
And you can see that Teague very, very carefully, like as it's eating, is actually holding like what's left of its proboscis, like the sharp parts, away, and is just very, very, very delicately just eating at the meat and ripping those pieces off until all that's left is like the claws of these creatures, which are all pretty gnarled and messed up at this point, and just some like wing bones and the torn and broken proboscises that are left as well.
I was going to ask if he actually, needs to eat, since you just sort of pulled him out of somewhere else, but that answers that, I suppose.
I mean, he's real. You could touch him. He's a real animal.
Well, yeah, but yeah, okay.
Let's start a fire, a big one, please.
So yeah, where did the Bocek? Did they just come out of the trees on top of you? Where did they come from?
I saw one in tree on top. I thought it fruit. I'm like, oh, collect food for people. So I throw a dart at it. Fruit explode into blood, and then other ones attack.
So I'll look under the other trees. Do I see any other of these little things hanging further away?
Make an investigation check for me.
Burn whole forest down.
By the way, Bocek looks like Carrie. Like he's just drenched in blood. You can just see the eyes. Every now and then when he smiles, it gives definition. But he is just covered in blood. He's drenched.
Prestidigitation face. There we go. That's nicer. That's a little better.
It's gonna take you a couple of times doing that, but you'll eventually be able to get all the blood off him that way.
Okay, investigation 15.
15. Yeah, you take your time going from first the tree that Bocek showed you to all the subsequent trees within the area. You kind of do a circle, and it takes you a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours. But thankfully, you don't see any other of these creatures hanging from the trees. You don't hear them. And the impression you're starting to kind of put together is that they probably got this halfling down and then just continued to just go at him. And it was possibly only these 5. They were able to do that much damage to him. He didn't seem as he was by himself.
Because I thought that the initial, Bocek said it looked like somebody dragged somebody else over there. So there's still no evidence of. So it seems like now that it was basically this one poor little guy got like attacked by a swarm of them and he ran into the woods.
That's the impression that you're getting, but as Warple, you do recall that you didn't get to finish investigating thoroughly because you did hear those noises. You and Drovar heard those noises from. So you actually stopped when Teague held a body up, and you were just checking the body out. You didn't progress any further. So at this point in time, it looks like it was possible. You do, as you said, Drovar, you recall Bocek saying it was probably 2 people. but you only found one, and it looks like possibly he dragged himself, or there might be another someone out there. You would have to go back to that area to investigate further if you wanted to find out.
I say that's something to check in the morning. We'll just keep a
If
good
he's
watch.
alive.
I mean, we were gonna do it anyway. What?
What if the second person's alive?
Have we heard any cries for help?
Listens to the quiet forest. No, I guess not.
You want to go back in that dark forest?
Nope,
Look for
I'm
more
good.
of them?
I'm gonna build this fire up high, Firebolt.
I'll
Firebolt.
go.
Morning it is. What? No. We'll check in the morning. Look for the remains of the other one.
If we can't see at night, we don't hunt at night. That's a dangerous. The reason why I thought there were anywhere from 6 to 12 is when in the jungles of Cholt, you have to understand these thunder lizards and dinosaurs, they're huge. So a swarm of 6 of these sturges barely even bothers them. It just drinks their blood like a mosquito would drink yours. And then it flies off when it's full. And it's like a life cycle. It's nature. They're not evil or horrible creatures. It's strange to see them here, but I guess this is my first time experiencing them on this continent. Not really that surprising.
Well, wait. If
I
they
mean-
come from your continent, do you think they were sent here after you?
No, they're beasts. No, I'm just saying I don't know much of this place. These are, this I've been in Neverwinter or a while, but I didn't really travel up and down the coast through all the forests, so
Well, I've never encountered these myself, so I was kind of wondering. And you said they were native to your land, but I don't get above ground that much. Yeah, but it's we'll check in the morning to see if there's more of them, because if there's 2 of them that got brought down, there could be more of them up in the trees sleeping.
Well, I hope
It's
these
not
are
now.
the first and last that I ever see. That's all I'm going to say.
before we go to bed, Bochek, do you mind if I heal you a little bit just in case something comes in the night?
Yes, do you have orange slice?
What? Why do I need an orange slice?
Never mind, just heal.
All right. So I'll speak the true name of life itself as I whisper and touch the hunter's livery, and I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. You cast Cure Wounds on Bochek, and the rest of you actually, if you're paying attention, you actually do see that unlike previously, the actual gem around Gorpal's neck actually slightly glows as his hand glows when healing Bochek.
Ooh,
I only
it's
heal
like
you 3
magic.
points. It's very bad. But then I also whisper the names of an ancient fruit, and I will summon 20 good berries.
As they begin to just appear in his hand, but you also see the gem glow slightly as it happens.
So you've learned magic now, I see.
No, I just know the true names of things.
It looks like magic to me.
Well, you're a name stealer.
What does that even mean?
All right. Well, I'll tell you, it looks the same to me either way.
All right, I pass everyone 5 good berries.
Thank you.
All right. So you begin to bed down for the evening. While still somewhat freaked out by the events of the evening, a little less leery that you might be attacked by these creatures, but there's still in the back of your minds there is still a concern of that, as there still is possibly some investigations to continue in the morning, though, not during the evening. I will assume that you will take watch. Some of you will take watch over the course of the evening? Okay. So you do take watch over the course of the evening. Thankfully, other than the sounds of which actually you now realize that over the course of the evening, as you are all on watch, you do start to hear the sounds of the evening creatures, which seem to have been more muted earlier in the evening, but it's now more prominent. You now realize that, oh, it's probably because these creatures had nested in this tree that everything, all these animals were staying away. But now you can actually hear the hooting of the owls, the occasional sounds of the cicada type creatures, bugs, singing their nightly songs. But thankfully, throughout the course of the evening, nothing untoward happens. You all wake the next morning, full hit points, any spell slots expended, you regain, ready to go on the next leg of your journey.
All right. Shall we go take one more look for the
Yeah.
other
Also,
fella?
I also was gonna say I'm gonna spend time oiling my spell book on my watch like the previous night, and also will apologize for calling it Wojciech. Like I know your name is Jan, I forgot. Anyway.
No, it is okay.
Yeah, anyway.
I understand that you are under some pressure sometimes. It is fine.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Tell you what. Yeah, and then next morning, definitely gonna help Drovar in scanning those trees. And if I see something that even remotely looks like them, I'm gonna firebolt it and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that was just a leaf. Oh God. Okay."
I can climb and hop tree to tree. I'll cover the tops. How about I do
Okay.
that?
You do that. I hate these
And
things
also-
almost as much as rats.
And Teague will also do that.
I can see Basha just setting the whole forest on fire.
I definitely set fire to at least one tree in the process.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
so
you.
all right. So I will say between, let's see, Gorple. Actually, you know what? Everyone roll me. This is going to be, you're all actively looking for somebody, so all of you roll an investigation check for me, please.
22.
Basha's 22. Gorple?
Natural 20 for 21.
Okay. Drover?
I was so proud of my 17, but
Bocek.
I was proud of my 15.
All right. Without any issue, you all begin to make your way towards where you last saw the body of this halfling, which is still there. It doesn't seem to have moved in the evening or anything untoward happened to it. But from that moment on, you begin to start looking around, seeing if you can see, and you actually do see past where Teague initially found the body of the halfling, more grass. And now you can see that there are areas that are flattened, but less dragged and more what seems like footprints, very, very quickly making their way away from where the body is. You continue very carefully for about another 40 or 50 feet when you do find what seems like the another body. Would you like to get closer?
I'm looking up first.
Well, Gorple, you said you're in the trees, right? Yeah. At this point,
I just want to see Gorple's eyes blinking back at me.
yeah, you absolutely you see Gorple and the occasional bird just flying out of some of the trees as Gorple is jumping from tree to tree, making his way and just disturbing some of these birds. But outside of that, you don't see large leathery green wings or anything of that nature. But you get up to the body, and as you get closer, you see that it looks like another halfling. Doesn't seem to be moving.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yep. Go for it.
Sorry, I was having trouble getting my mouse to work, and I remember because it's literally on the other side of my book. That's why.
Okay.
10.
10. So you start to make your way towards the body, and it looks like its back is facing you, and it seems to be kind of like rolled over on its shoulder, back facing you, and so you kind of get up to it, and you're looking for the telltale signs of what happened to the other one. Oddly, there's no blood. You kind of lift the shirt up a little bit, and you don't see any holes. You don't. It's very weird. And then you grab the shoulder and you begin to roll it forward. And as you do, you see all of a sudden you hear, and you back up instinctively, and you see one of these sturges. And you realize this is how it died. You watch as another male halfling, as you roll him over, his mouth wide open. The proboscis of this creature is jammed into his throat. The body and stomach so large and distended, it seems to be stuck. And it's just, as you've rolling it over, it seems like you freed one of its wings that was stuck, and now it's trying to try and fly away.
Firebolt that whole thing.
Yeah.
Firebolt the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm stepping up, ready to swing, and she's already ahead of me. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to roll for at this point. It is basically it's going to be an automatic crit, and there's no way you can miss it. It's just if it was able to pull its way out of this poor halfling's body, it is so engorged. There, you don't see how it could probably lift itself with its wings. And very quickly you're able to just firebolt it. And as you do, you can see the look of sheer terror and horror on this poor halfling's face, as it died, literally watching this creature just suck its blood from its mouth. It's just a horrific way to die.
Well, let's see if he had anything on him. No, obviously, coin, but anything that says who they were, somebody's gonna miss him.
All right. Roll investigation check for me.
Yeah, I'm a little too freaked out. I got a 4 on this one.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. You find a pouch on their belt. There's some coin in it. There is 11 pieces of silver and 24 pieces of copper. You begin to do the whole thing you did with the other one. You kind of pull the boots off. You kind of look around, and you don't find anything else other than that.
Sorry, that was 11 silver, 20 copper?
24 copper.
24 copper, thank you.
well, the other one had gold hidden on him somewhere, but I'm not looking any harder for this one.
All right, so you eventually make your way back to your camp, now knowing the fate of these two unfortunate individuals who decided to make camp in the same place you did, and were not as fortunate to escape these hungry creatures, which you now know are sturges.
Right.
So you begin to... I'm sorry, Garrett Corporal.
So I was right. There were 6.
Yep. You feel very justified in knowing this now, Corporal. You make your way back to the camp. You break camp for the day and begin your journey to Thunder Tree.
Okay.
It's a pretty overcast day. Thankfully, there's no rain. Gorple, you're kind of hoping for rain a little bit, but for the rest of your companions, thankfully, it doesn't rain. But it does stay overcast for most of the trip. You do make your way back onto the main road heading towards Thunder Tree, which also happens to be the road that will take you to Neverwinter. As you make your way onto the high road, it's at this point where you actually start to see somewhat regular traffic on this road. This is, again, one of the main roads on the Sword Coast. And occasionally you do see the occasional rider, occasional cart making its way either north or south. But you do at some point towards sundown, towards dusk, you now have pretty much made your way most of the way on the high road. You are maybe with a good estimation of possibly 2 to 3 hours away from Thunder Tree. But it is getting dark. You can proceed if you'd like for those few extra hours and possibly take a level of exhaustion, or you can decide to camp for the evening and continue the next morning.
I say we probably camp here. We take more time to pick our spot. Make sure it's really safe.
All right. Everyone make a survival check for me, please. Basha?
Still trying to get my mouse to work. Hold on. 17. That was actually really good. I'm not even good at survival. Wow.
Bocek?
Dirty 20.
All right. Warple?
7 for me, 20 for Teague.
Okay. And Drovar?
20 as well.
All right. All right. So without issue, you are all able to kind of find a place to camp for the evening that you all feel safe camping at. There is the you all double and triple check the area to make sure that there are no sturges specifically, but definitely no other types of creatures that will actually come out. But you feel fairly safe in this area as you begin to make your camp and set things down for the evening. At this point in time, just to give you kind of a reference where you are on the map, you are right about here. So you are close to Neverwinter, but you know that if you do continue going forward, if you do make it to Thunder Tree, again, it's going to take you about maybe 2 to 3 hours from that particular point. And if you decide to, for some reason, go to Neverwinter, which is very close, from your current position, that would actually be about an hour or two. So,
can I ask a question of you two, DM? I know you had said originally that my family was settled outside of Neverwinter. Are they closer to us, or are they on the other side of Neverwinter?
They're actually on the other side. They're north of Neverwinter.
I was gonna be like, we could stay in my house overnight. No, it's okay.
I mean, you could technically make it there. Probably.
On the other side.
Yeah, it's on the other side. You probably if you decided to travel another 4 or 5 hours. You could get there and still put yourself in a pretty good position to make it to Thunder Tree the next morning. It would take you a little longer to get there, but you would definitely be home if you wanted to do that.
I don't want to break up the party for that though. But I will say to the party, like, well, my house is only like 4 hours from here. This is not far at all. But we are only an hour from Neverwinter right now.
Well, there's nothing keeping me, and that I've got to do it Neverwinter. I'm fine with in the morning heading on to the Thunder Tree.
I'm just thinking of the baths and the lemon soap and the food.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about it anyway.
So you camp for the evening. Yeah, okay. So you all camp for the evening. And you take your watch throughout. And again, thankfully, without much of any instances or issues, you do make it through the evening, scourge free. Everyone's blood staying exactly where it should. And you wake in the morning without
30 good berries. We don't have to hunt. If everyone wants to be vegetarians, we're good. I ate sturgeon. I'm happy.
I don't want to be a vegetarian, but I'll take these.
I want to make a pie with this, but I'm afraid it will be too filling.
I don't know. We made.
Give us a Bocek. He'll eat anything, I'm sure, at least once.
Yes, true. I think Bocek should make pie. He is very good cook. Do you bake too, Bocek?
Yes, Bojack bake. Not very well run campfire, but if you give Bojack stone oven, Bojack maybe bake pie.
So everyone gets 7 good berries. Bocek and I have 8 because I figured Bocek will eat 1 extra.
Also, for monies for yesterday, please everyone take 19 copper, and here is your 9 silver. Don't spend it all in one place. Haha. There's no extra spend it out here. Unlike
19
that in Neverwinter. Like last
19
night.
copper, 9 silver.
Sorry, yes. 19 copper, 9 silver.
All right. So, Basha, over the course of the evening,
Hold on, one question. Didn't he have some gold too, or is that...
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to split up the gold. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, there was gold.
There was gold, wasn't there? I knew there was gold.
3 gold apiece. 3 gold apiece. I'm not holding back. I just...
All right, just making sure.
You
So
have the
Basha-
gold sickness.
What are you talking about?
There's no such thing.
That's a myth. I can quit gold anytime I want.
Okay, alright, sure, alright.
So, Basha, over the course of the evening, I'm going to assume that, part of your nightly ritual is also to just oil your spell book.
Yes, and also probably pray to soon,
Okay.
I would think, and look at the portrait of my children. I now have a longer nightly routine.
Okay, not a problem. Over the course of this evening, as you were doing that, Jan actually does begin to speak with you again.
So, I recall that you said something about possibly inscribing more spells into me?
Yes, I can. We have a book with wizard spells that I got from other wizard that we won't talk about him.
Oh no, that's fine. I do not care where you get these spells, but there's, I'm just happy whenever you inscribe them within me. That is fine. How,
Okay.
so which spells? I'm very excited to know which ones.
I don't know. Let's find out together. So I'm gonna take out the wizard spell book and open it up and
All
start to read.
Yeah, so you start to look through it, and there are 7 spells inscribed within this book. There are 3 cantrips. 1 is light.
Yes.
1 is mage hand. And the last cantrip is shocking grasp.
Ooh.
There are 2 first level spells. Charm person and magic missile. And then 2 second level spells. Hold person and misty step.
Oh. Oh, these are very good spells, Jan. Jan, we're going to learn Misty Step at some point.
Oh, I'm very excited to learn this one. This would be very nice for you to inscribe in me.
Yes, also, you must learn Light because I am useless in dark places, so Light is necessary.
Well, so let us say possibly you start with light and then misty step.
That sounds good. Let's do that. And you just hear me talking to myself in the corner, everybody, as I'm, oiling my book, and then take out a quill that appears out of thin air and just start, writing in my book. Yeah.
Yeah, and as Basha does this, you all do see, you don't hear a voice in response to her, but you absolutely do see the eyes opening and kind of moving around in the book when she's actually kind of looking at the face. Occasionally, when she actually has it held propped up as she's writing, the eyes do open and look at all of you.
Definitely do.
Gorpal seems again horrified. Uh, Bocek waves at the book whenever it does look at him. But that happens over the course of the evening. So yeah, you do learn that those spells are in the spell book that you did get from the glass staff.
Yay! Okay, cool. I'm definitely gonna add them to my known.
All right. So yeah, so that'll take you some time, but you know, as a mage of the Order of Scribes, not as long as most other mages. So just let me know which ones you decide to inscribe when, so we can kind of keep track of that.
And do these all automatically? They go into known, but obviously I can't put them into my. I mean, I wouldn't put them into my prepared yet. But would they all be considered now under the known list, or would I have to select them like a couple at a time?
Once you inscribe them in your spell book, they will become known.
Okay, so I'll just add light and misty step for now.
Okay. Well, how long will it take you to inscribe each of those? Cantrip, I know, is like almost no time.
I'm checking the rules.
So, because I remember, see, I'm just with the Order of the Scribe. So, new classes, folks. Yeah, we're all learning something.
And I'm sorry, I should probably know this.
No,
I've never played a wizard before, so I'm still like.
No, well, with the regular rule for wizards, it's usually takes you 50 gold in an hour per level of the spell. But as an Order of the Scribe wizard, it's a little different. All right, so let's just go through this. Right. The time you spend to copy a spell into your book equals 2 minutes per spell level if you used a quill for your transcription. So very quickly it allows you to do these things. So yeah, so wow. So your first level, so it's a second level spell. It's gonna take it's gonna take you 4 minutes to inscribe Misty Step into your book, and for the cantrip, it doesn't take you any time at all. Like you're just kind of flying through it. And for those who do actually see Basha actually writing in her book, first off, as she said, the quill just appears out of thin air, and then she begins writing at a very, very fast speed, scarily so. And there is, for the things that she writes in her books, there is this strange glow that happens as she writes. And when she does seem to be completed and finished, the glow subsides. And then she kind of closes the book. It seems very satisfied with herself in the moment.
Question. If I don't have room for another cantrip, should I just ditch one of the old ones, or can I not do that?
No, you can't get rid of a cantrip spell. You would have to expand your book.
Okay.
And you can do that. You would just need the items to do so. Which would probably entail finding someone who has magically prepared parchment.
I thought I had a big empty magic book that I got at one point.
You
have.
you haven't inspected it.
Oh, okay. So
you're not sure what it could possibly do?
All right. Well, then I can't learn light right now, but that's okay. I'll learn it in future. So.
Okay.
I still am giggling madly to myself while 2 spell books are in my hand and like copying things down and talking to Ian.
Yeah. Because normally, and normally what happens is the reason why it takes so long. Normally, and you would know this, Basha, that normally inscribing a spell from one mage or from a scroll into your own spell book, every mage has their own very particular not cipher but way of deciphering the arcane runes when it comes to spells, and so every single mage does something a little different, has a something that it takes you some time to decipher, and they go, oh, that's what they meant by this, and then you transfer that into your own type of cipher, into the way it's easy for you to understand it. but as an order of the scribe's mage, that understanding comes to you much swifter.
Nice.
And the understanding of exactly what this mage, the Glassstaff specifically, was trying to do. He was absolutely trying to make this spell book very difficult to decipher. But for someone in your order, it took you no time to decipher his clumsy code.
You thought you could trick me, Glassstaff. Well, you did not know Basha Barst would be translating your spell book, right, Jan? We have this. We will get it. And that's just when I'm like laughing to myself in the
Yes.
corner.
Yes, I believe he was very sloppy.
How many folks are you talking to in that book?
Oh no, just Jan. I am just saying, looking at Glassstaff's book, he is very messy with his ciphers, and I can see right through them. He was not very smart. Okay, he was maybe very smart, but I am just smarter. It's fine.
Oh, good.
So, as I said, over the course of the evening, nothing untoward happens. You awake the next morning. Unfortunately, the overcast from the day before has turned into a very slight drizzle. Not that terrible, but somewhat uncomfortable. And you begin to make you break camp. You eat your good berries, and you begin your trek to Thunder Tree, which, as I said, takes you about 2 to 3 hours from your current location. I need all of you to roll a survival check for me, please. Asha?
7.
7. Bocek?
9.
9. Gorple?
14 for me, 7 for Teague.
And Drovar?
Natural 20, so a 22.
All right. So Drovar, you, being your history, being in the military, you are very well suited to marching in various types of weather. It doesn't really bother you so much, but you turn and you look at your companions who just seem to be miserable and just not having a very good go at the day with this light drizzle and them trudging, their way to Thunder Tree, and they slow you down. You don't see.
Come on, lads, it's all right. There's just nothing.
It's just very wet, and I am trying to protect Jan from rain, so it's just hard.
Bocek was staring at the sky and forgot his mouth is opened and might be suffering the fate of a turkey.
Bocek, stop! You're drowning yourself. Bocek.
But unfortunately, it does take you another hour in your travels to actually get to Thunder Tree. But eventually, you begin to start seeing signs of ruins, broken stones, and the telltale signs of just overgrowth in the area. As you have finally made your way to the ruins of Thunder Tree. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Ooh.
So when we come back, we will be going into Thunder Tree proper and seeing what happens then. So thank you for everyone who's currently watching. We will be back shortly, and we will see what happens from there. We'll see you then. And we are back. Hello, everyone. All right. So, as we left for the break, our intrepid adventurers have made their way to the ruins of Thunder Tree. As you make your way on this trail, gradually, the trail becomes an old, overgrown lane, winding between dilapidated buildings choked in vines and brush. Ahead of you in the middle of the settlement rises a steep hill upon which stands a stone tower with a partially collapsed roof and an adjoining cottage. A dirt road hugs the base of the hill and wends its way between the old stone houses, many of which are roofless ruins, with interiors open to the weather. Other buildings appear more or less intact. The whole place is eerily silent. As you get a little closer, you can see that there is a wooden sign tacked up at the left side of the road. It reads, "Danger! Plant monsters and zombies. Turn back now." What would you like to do?
Okay.
Well, they've spelled it out for us.
I was gonna roll an investigation check to look for this house as we go, but I think right now I'm gonna be more concerned with that.
I think we should try to be a little bit stealthier as I've adjusted into a more comfortable armor. Let's why don't we sneak forward as we go, especially if that sign is pretty obvious. Unless it's a trap to keep people away, but I don't know.
Could be. No, she said. Where did she say that house was in this town? Did she give it north or west part of town? I thought she mentioned something.
There's an alchemy shop, an herb alchemy shop. So I'm sure if we find some sort of sign.
She said, hold on, I know she said us something. She said it was in the southeast portion.
Right.
All right. So, you begin to move forward. What would you like to do?
I mean, stealthily move forward, but keep my eyes peeled for anything.
Okay. I'd like everybody to make a stealth check for me, please. All right. Basha?
19.
Okay. Bocek?
6.
Warple and Teague.
7 for me, 16 for Teague.
Okay. And Drovar?
12.
12. Okay. Warple, I'm assuming that you are currently riding Teague at this moment?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So, because of that, you will take Teague's stealth check rather than your 7. I mean, you're just like, this armor, it's different.
It hugs too tightly.
But you begin to make your way as quietly as possible to through the ruins of Thunder Tree. And as you do that, I'm going to open up some of the maps so you can actually see. And I will you will see as I start to open this up that unlike most maps where one square actually is 5 feet, this area is so overgrown and rather large that each square is actually equal to 10 feet. So please bear that in mind as you move forward. Please feel free to put yourselves on the road where you would like, and we will take it from there.
Creeping behind Drovar.
When you first had me placed, it looked like I was Teague's fart. I want you to know that's how small he was. I was like, oh my, what is going on here?
All right. So, you are on the road. You've just arrived in these ruins. There is a way to go forward, and there is a way to go to your right. Which way would you like to go?
Which way looks southeast?
I mean, south is down, but
Yeah.
can we get to that crossroads to kind of peek to see what's in each direction?
Sure. As you get over to those crossroads, you see there is currently a building over here, and there seems to be some ruins to the south of you as well. To see more, you would actually have to get a little closer. And again, the terrain here is overgrown. It's hilly. Not everything is, 100% flat. So that is what you currently see at this crossroads. And you can see this road does extend a little further towards these ruined buildings.
I mean, we have a choice. This building up to the east looks more intact than some of the others. There's also ruins to the south, and you said we wanted to look. What we're looking for, southeast or southwest?
Southeast.
Southeast.
Well, I mean, this path does seem to veer a little bit south to the east of us. I say we just kind of maybe try to, I don't know. We're looking for this other. We're also looking for Radolf. So
Right, and if it was actually staying here somewhere, I figure one of these buildings that isn't falling in on itself so
Yeah.
much. Maybe we check this one.
Let's check this one right up on the left.
Here to the east.
Uh-huh.
And,
Yeah,
uh,
let's look.
okay, sounds good.
All right, so you are going to make your way to that building. Okay.
Back Warple.
All right.
Peak is biting me.
Yeah. So you all can't be on the same squares. Because it's either sexy or dirty, depending on how you want to look
It's
at it.
10 feet. It's 10
You said
feet.
they're
Look at
10-foot
it.
squares though, so can't technically two figures fit in one square.
Yeah, technically, but if we get into anything for your reference, you can't. Everybody can only get one square, or these 10-foot squares. All right. So you make it up to this building. Drovar, you are at the front door of this building. You can see a weathered signboard by the door of this large building shows the faded image of a workhorse holding a flagon of ale. The building is sagging and dilapidated, but it's more intact than the ruins across the road.
So the sign. So does it look like it's a tavern? Is that?
It looks like it possibly could be an old tavern of some sort.
Old tavern. It's in better shape than the other places, though. Might be worth a look.
Yeah, let's go look.
All right, I'll give a listen at the door.
All right, make a perception check for me. Two. You stick.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you stick your ear to it, and you go. You're too excited to see if there's anything left over of all. Is there ale? Is there? I don't know. Maybe. I'm too excited, but you don't hear anything. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll check the door, try to open it.
Okay. The door itself, there is no lock. It does open. The wood itself is somewhat rotted. but for the most part intact. The hinges seem to be old rusted iron, and so there's like a as you open the door. It is dark inside. And as you make your way into the you can see that there is a bar. You can see broken stools and tables. Just time is overtaken in this place. And as you do notice all these things, you also notice the first thing you notice is the sound. And you hear and you can see what looked like these bodies just begin to kind of crawl out from behind the bar area. And then what looked like two limp mounds of just old ripped up fabric or tarp actually turns out those things start moving, and you see what look like humanoid bodies with their flesh, what's left of their flesh, looks gray and ashy, and just a little. You can actually see what looks like puffs of smoke and ash just falling off of their face and bodies as they begin to get up. I need you all to roll initiative for me, please.
Time to burn things.
All right, let's put some
Ooh.
appropriate fighting music. Righty. So, initiative. Here we go.
DM, are
Yes.
those little gray slits, are those open windows since this is a dilapidated building?
Those slits, yes, those are windows. Let me see, just check here. I believe they are, but yes, those are windows.
Are they intact or not? if I may?
They're open. There's no glass. There's no actual. It's just an open. What used to be an intact window is now just an open space where a window once was. So, alrighty. There they are. Okay. So, Gorple, what'd you get?
15.
15. Drovar.
17.
17. Basha.
10.
10. Bocek.
4.
They rolled. Of course they rolled that. Alrighty. So, first up is Drovar.
Okay, so I get the door open, and immediately I kind of look in, and things start getting up. I'm like, okay, I back up and say, "Oh, the bar's closed, but the bouncers are still in there."
Oh
Mhm.
no!
I will just fire the crossbow at the first one, and back up so that they can start, try to keep like at least one can come out, so we can, try to cut them down as they come.
Okay. Sounds good. So, all right, so roll for attack.
16.
16 does hit.
Wow, max damage, 9 points, piercing.
Awesome. Okay.
If that matters.
Yeah, so first one takes 9 damage. All right. Yeah. So you hit you. It's just as it's slowly getting up and loping towards you, and again you just hear the as it, and you just shoot right into it. It just goes into its ashy skin, and you watch as this just like again another puff of like dark ash and just skin just kind of sloughs off. And it just continues to make its way towards you, but it did take that hit. All right. Do you want to move any further, or are you good where you're at?
I'm good where I am at the moment. Let them come towards me and let's see how fast they move and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Gorple, it is now your turn.
All right. Teague will begin moving. As I get there, I'm gonna fire a light crossbow at the one that Drovar already hit.
All right.
I imagine a 23 will hit.
A 23 does hit. Yes.
Ooh, also max damage for 11 piercing.
Nice.
I imagine poison doesn't affect these things, so I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, you do poison your arrows and bolts as you normally do, and yeah, it doesn't seem to have the effect that it normally would on most creatures. But as you actually shoot this bolt, and it does hit, you watch as some more of the skin kind of falls away, some of the clothing falls away, and you can see the rib cage, and your shot has cracked and broken a number of ribs on the right side of it, and it's just like and it continues to lope forward.
So Teague's gonna keep moving.
Okay.
You said we can only be in one square, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Teague will go there, and I'm gonna dismount right here.
Okay.
And as a bonus action, I will tell Teague to ready an attack for anything that comes through that door.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm done.
Right. Okay. So that is your turn. Basha, it is now your turn.
Oh no, I don't like this bar. We need to find new bar, new town. I moved behind Drover. Sorry, Han. Let me not block you on the screen.
That's okay. I know where I am, and my character is short.
And I'm gonna cast magic missile in through the door. Can I see 3 of them to be able to hit them?
You can only see currently you can only see one.
Well, I'm gonna hit all 3 bolts on that one guy then. So.
Okay. So what's the damage on that? That automatically hits. So
And I'm only doing first level. So that's 5 damage. Do I roll it 3 times then? Yeah. Or is it just 5 for all 3?
well, you roll a one d4,
Okay.
and then plus 1 for each. So it would be 3d4 plus 3.
So the first one was a 5. The second one's a 3. And the third one's also a 3.
Okay.
So total of 11 damage there.
Nice.
Oh, I pull out my spell book from behind him. It's like, Jan, we must go to work again, and then I cast it.
All right. So you cast, you pull out Jan, you cast the spell, and some good damage tonight, guys. You watch as each of your magic missiles just begin to just take more and more of its form, more of the bones. You can hear the cracking, and it just falling away. And as it does, you watch as it just hits the ground, and it seems to not move. And so altogether, that was 13. No, so that was 11.
11 total.
11 total. So yeah, it falls to the ground unmoving and doesn't seem to get up again. But you can clearly see that there is more movement going on. So do you want to stay where you're at, or are you going to continue to move?
I mean, I have a good shot here, but I guess I should let Bocek get through. So I'll step back 1 square.
Okay. Alrighty. So move back 1. All right. So now, all right, let me open that up for you so you can actually see once you move there. All right. So now it is the zombies' turn. They continue to. This one just steps over the corpse of that one and then comes out. Drovar, you are in which square? You're in the first one by the door, or
Yeah, I'd say I'm in the square. Yeah,
yeah,
you
okay.
know, I can. Yeah, because she was directly behind me, so I'll back up next time to give him a chance to come out. But
Okay. But yeah, so since you're right by the door, it sees you and it's essentially in melee with you at this point. And it is going to try and take a swing at you.
Okay.
With its fists. So that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. And so you take. That is going to be 6 bludgeoning damage as it just kind of shuffles over towards you. And they don't look like they move very fast. But it's just. And it just kind of hits you. Really, you weren't expecting that hard of a hit from something that looks like it's just falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one is actually here. It's going to try and actually climb through the window. I'm going to make a dexterity check for it. See how well that turns out. That should be interesting. Oh, that's not bad. That is actually... Oh, even with a -2, there's a 16. Okay. So it begins to climb out of the window, just like... and starts pulling itself out. And Teague is right at the window. So Teague can make its held action towards the creature.
AC 9?
That actually hits. So yeah, roll damage for Teague.
That will be a total of 8 piercing. Or 8 slashing, sorry.
8 slashing. Okay. Teague turns as it sees this creature crawling out of the window and just immediately takes it's a bite attack, right?
It's slashing, so I imagine it's a toe claw.
Oh, okay. So it's slashing. All right. So yeah. So it stands there, and then you just watch as it leaps up, until its toe claws are like at face level with this zombie, and just rakes down the face of this creature. And you watch as it rakes it down. It just pulls away the skin. You can see the skull underneath. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for Teague. And what'd you get for him?
That will be a total of 15.
15. All right. So you watch as Teague rips all the ashy flesh off of this zombie's face. There is that puff of ash and dust that just flies off of the ripped skin. And you watch as it almost encompasses all of Teague's head. And you watch Teague just and just kind of shake it off and thankfully doesn't seem very affected by what happened, but it seems like, close up damage to these creatures might actually have some kind of detriment or effect. You're unsure. But yeah, it takes that damage. Cannot actually take that space. And so actually it is kind of like hanging halfway in the window and halfway out. So that is that creature's turn. That zombie's turn. This one gonna move here. And Basha, from where you're standing, you can actually see movement in the window currently right over here,
Oh, good.
as another creature seems to be making its way towards that window. But that's as far as they can they can move. Again, they don't move very quickly. So now, Bocek, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to move here, and there's a window there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And you can totally
I
see
would
a
like to
zombie in that window.
I would like to throw a dart through the window.
Okay, go for it. Roll for attack.
I'm assuming 22 hits,
That hits.
and it does 7 damage.
7 damage. All right. Okay, again, you see this puff of just ash and dust just puff over it, but it doesn't actually reach you, thankfully, from where it is yet. All right. So that was Bocek's turn. Do you want to do anything else? You probably have some movement.
I would actually like to stay where I...
Okay.
Actually, no, because that thing's gonna try to dive through the window. I'll cover Basha here.
Okay. Yeah, you with your crazy speed can absolutely make it there. All right, so you
Oh
move
gosh,
up.
you're here.
Yeah. All right, so that was Bocek's turn. Back at the top of the round, Drovar.
Okay, so I'm holding the door, but these things are starting to want to come out
Mhm.
through these buildings and damaging them up close. This one at the door has not been hurt yet.
No, it has not.
No. Yeah, but I don't want him to get... All right, I will take a swing with the great axe. I'm gonna give it a try here and see if I can get a good hit. And
Okay.
I'm tough. I can take it.
All right. Go for
Okay,
it.
so there's still 3 of them. I will actually rage.
Okay.
I'm protecting, and I sort of think it's like I'm protecting the family.
Yeah. As you rage, you can actually feel the your wrists under your bracers swell slightly and tighten against your bracers. Go for it.
Okay, all right. I think there's a physical effect tied with the rage at this point, is there not? Or is it after I have to hit something first?
I believe. Yeah, I believe so. Let me just
All right.
let me just double check.
All right.
All right, new skills, new skills. So, the first creature you hit with an attack.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about as I haul off and take a swing at this guy. And it's an 11. So that is a...
The 11 hits.
All right. Okay, 10 damage slashing.
All right, 10 slashing damage. And as you hit it, you feel a little, almost extra oomph behind your hit. It feels almost like someone grabbed your hands, like there was 4 set of hands rather than 2. And you swear just for a second that there was a spectral pair of hands on the axe with you, giving it some guidance. And as you hit, you watch as one of the arms is just cleaved right off of the zombie. And the zombie currently now has disadvantage on its next attack.
Well, if anyone...
On any attack that isn't against you. Yeah.
Right, so basically I'm now drawing its attention. It's like, me! You come for me!
Okay. All right. So yeah, just to make sure everybody knows what's going on. While raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn has disadvantage on any attack that isn't against you. And when the target hits a creature other than you, that creature has resistance to the damage dealt by the attack. So essentially, everybody else on your party will be resistant to that creature's specific attack.
Yep.
So, which is pretty badass. All right, so we will mark that creature so we know that he's essentially marked by you and your ancestors.
Yes.
Alrighty. So that is your turn. Do you want to move out of the way, or you just?
Well, I'll have it. They'll get. I'll take an attack of opportunity if he takes a swing at me. If I back up, so I'm gonna stay there and try to just hold the line here.
Okay.
If they start coming through, I'll start swinging at all of them to get them to be like, "Hey, no, stay with me."
Gotcha. Alrighty. So next up is Gorple. Gorple, what would you like to do?
First, I will continue the tactic that we have worked to perfection last round. AC 17.
Definitely hits.
Oh, I'm sorry to jump in. Did I have to make any sort of saving throw for the hitting this thing?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Gotta be fair. Gotta be fair.
Constitution saving throw, please.
Is this a poison effect?
It is not.
Oh well. Ooh, natural 3. That's an 8.
8. Okay. So as you hit the creature, even with that extra guidance, you find the skin, and again that ashy smoke and dust just into your face. And as it does hit you, it gets in your eyes and your nose, and it is just really obscuring. It's starting to obscure your vision. It's starting to really it's becoming a bother, and you're coughing and you're choking. So this means that you are going to gain disadvantage on attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks for 1 minute. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, ending the effect on it early with a successful save. So essentially, at the end of your turn, you basically can try and just kind of get the stuff off of you, because it is strange. You can see the rest of your party can actually see this ash and this gray dust just sticking to your face and just becoming a general nuisance for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what that means. So that's currently what you have going on. All right. So Gorple, I'm sorry. Continue your actions, please.
6 piercing on this first zombie that Drovar is fighting.
Okay.
as I fire another crossbow bolt. And since I think Basha seems like she's good at that distance, I will remain in this 10-foot square. And then Teague, in Grung, I shout, "You know what to do." And I lose my bonus action. Teague will run back 20 feet and provoke from the zombie.
Okay. So he'll run 20 feet. So yeah, so move him where you're gonna. And yeah, the zombie's going to attempt to take a reaction attack on him. That is going to be a 16 hit Teague.
That will in fact hit Teague.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's a 14, not a 16. 14.
That will miss Teague.
Okay, yeah. So as Teague runs, it kind of like and just kind of tries to swipe while it's still in the window, and completely misses Teague, being too quick for it.
And so then Teague kind of does a hard turn, rushes back forward, and leaps up with a toe claw.
Okay,
And I will make an attack for you.
go for it.
Turn that 3 into a 19. So that's a 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
I will need a strength saving throw of 12, please.
All right. Okay, that is going to be an 8.
All right. From the charge and claw, he will take a total of 9 damage, and he is knocked prone.
Okay, so he takes the 9 damage. And then he is knocked prone from the window back into the building. Literally just Teague just rushing at him and just sticking his toe claws into the face and pushing and raking at the same time. Just and as you watch it just kind of disappear back into the building, Teague makes kind of like a for you, Gorple, you do recognize this more like a triumphant kind of sound.
Yeah. I'm real proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
All right. So that's good. So excellent. And he's prone. So let me just do that. Okay.
And I am completely finished.
All right. Excellent. Up next is Basha.
When I hear Teague make that noise, I'm like, not sure if more scared of that or them. All right, anyway. And I'm going to... Can I still see any of them in the doorway? Like the one that's in front of Drovar? Or because the one in the window got pushed back, so I'm assuming I don't have eye contact anymore. But
yeah, no, you don't. The one that was in the window just disappeared as Teague rushed it. But you can absolutely see the one that's in front of Drovar. Drovar definitely seems to be kind of like... Not out of it, but it just... All of this gray ash is on his face. He seems to be having a hard time, concentrating on what he's doing. But you can definitely see that creature in the doorway.
I'm picturing if the Pompeii bodies came back to life, but that's
Kind
what
of.
zombies are, and it's horrifying. Or
Yeah.
Silent Hill. Anyway, so I'm gonna firebolt that one because I'm just I don't know what you just did. I don't like it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Let me roll.
And by the way, Drovar, when Gorple shot the arrow, more of that dust just got in your face.
Okay.
You don't have to roll again because you're already affected, but
Right.
it's getting more and more. Just more of this ash is just
I understand.
starting to get onto you.
So if I fail the save, or if I make the save at the end of my turn, but I'm exposed to it again, we repeat the process. As long as I'm exposed to it, there's a chance that I get to this condition of,
Right.
Okay, got it.
That's a 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And that is 6 fire damage.
6 fire damage. Okay. You watch. First thing that happens as the fire hits, it does ignite the loose tatters of clothing that it still has on it, and you can see some smoke start to rise from it. But also another puff of this gray ash just right into Drovar's already ashy face at this
Yeah.
point. And he's like, just.
I'm gonna be like, Drovar, move!
And then you watch as the creature just and falls to the ground.
No, I'm good.
And then as the creature falls to the ground, and you think, okay, great, we got this one. You just watch as its arm twitches once more.
Oh, hell.
Oh!
And then it begins to raise up. And gets back up. All right. So it is at... Yeah. Okay. So that is your turn, Basha. Do you want to move or stay where you're at?
I mean, I don't know where I'd move to, because I would probably move to my right or left, and Wojciech is there, and we've got Teague and Squirple in the window, so I think I'll just stay where I am.
Okay. No worries. All right. It is now the zombies' turns. And you are correct, Basha. They very much look like the bodies, the ashen bodies from Pompeii, just moving on their own accord. It's very, very disturbing. This one is going to actually climb through the window. I'm going to make another dexterity check. Actually, again, not bad. Does make it crawl. It crawls out of the window, gets up, and immediately the first thing it sees is Drovar. So it is drawn to the flailing and the coughing.
All right. Good, you're nice and close.
And it is going to attempt an attack on you. And that is going to be a 21 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that's a hit.
And that's going to be 2 bludgeoning damage, but you're raging, so that's half to 1.
Yeah, 1.
So still feels like a big meaty punch, but you're just and I don't know, it feels almost like you're wearing some kind of armor, but you know that you're not.
Yeah.
It's very strange. There's more dullness to the pain in this hit than you've previously felt before. All right. The one in the door who just got back up is going to also attempt a hit on you, and that is going to be a 14 to hit.
That's it precisely.
Okay, and that is going to be 2 bludgeoning damage, half to 1. And then the third one, who is prone inside, gets up for half his movement, and will attempt to crawl through the window yet again, but find a somewhat largish dinosaur waiting for it on the other side, and which actually keeps it half in the window, not able to actually make its way fully out. So currently only one of the zombies has successfully made its way out of the building, and is now harrying Drovar. That is their turn. Wojciech, it is now your turn.
No time for scared of dust. Need to help Drovar. I'm going to run up to the zombie that just escaped the window and attempt to just punch it in the side of the head.
Okay. If you get on the opposite side of Drovar, which you could actually do with your crazy movement, you will be able to flank, just as a reminder, and get advantage on that attack.
Fantastic.
Yep.
That's a 20 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits. Absolutely hits.
My first blow's 7 damage.
Okay. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
3.
3. As you punch it, your fist literally goes into its chest. It's actually into the side of its neck and head. You can feel bones crack, and now its head is at this weird tilt, but still kind of like lolling around, still. And this large puff of ash just goes right into your face, into your eyes, your nostrils, and you're just for the next minute you have disadvantage now on attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. But because you are flanking, you have advantage, so that would cancel that out, and it would just be a straight roll. But this is you have this effect on you now.
Excellent. I am going to flurry of blows for 2 more attacks on this dude.
Okay, so those would be just straight rolls.
11.
11 does hit.
Okay, that one's going to do 6 damage.
Okay. Yeah, as you this time as you punch and it's moving, you hear a crack in its shoulder, and now its arm is just kind of limply still there, just kind of like, flopping about, and it's like, and it's still standing. You get another puff of ash in your face, but you already have the effect on you, so you don't have to roll for another Constitution saving throw.
And for my last attack, I'm going to bring my 2 arms above my head and try to hammer down on it.
Okay.
23 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And another 6 damage.
All right, so 6 damage. As you come down, again, more of this ash just puffs in your face and also all over you again, Drovar. You're just being covered in this ash now. And all you feel is this cracking sound, Bocek, as you just almost drive it into the ground, breaking its leg bones. It just kind of like tilts and collapses to the ground. And then you slowly watch as some of the bones begin to snap back into place, and it begins to rise up again.
Drovar, they get up.
I know. I like yell over at Bashi. It's
Hey,
like, what do we need to kill these things?
More fire! Just burn them! Kill them!
Okay. So, all right, Bocek, that is your turn. Back to the top of the round. Drovar, is now your turn. You have disadvantage on attack, saving throws, and ability checks.
Yeah, I will go. I will go with a reckless attack on the guy north of me, which cancels out, so it's a straight roll.
Right.
And I'll just try to hit him again.
Okay, go for it.
Total of 10, so I think that's a hit for these really slow guys.
Yep, 10 hits.
Almost max damage, 15.
15. All right. So, another poof of this ash in your face. It again, you hear the bones crack and it falls to the ground. And you just wait. And you watch, and you're just like, come on, get up. And you're just waiting. It doesn't seem to get up.
All right, I think you got the message.
Yeah. It is now the end of your turn. You can make another Constitution saving throw to see if you can shake this this effect.
9.
9. You are still affected. You're still coughing. It's like in your eyes, in your nostrils. You're actually like, ugh. You're just trying to get it out of everywhere because it's all over you. Unfortunately, you are still affected. All right. Warple, is now your turn.
All right. I will fire a light crossbow into the softened up zombie due to Bojack's excellent fist work.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. If I roll a 2, I hit the zombie. Just so I hit.
Okay, what was the total?
24.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the damage is 6.
Damage
Yeah,
is...
if I roll a 1, I only miss because I rolled a 1.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so you rolled a 6. That's 6 damage?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You shoot it, and its head, again, this one, the head is just lolling about. And you shoot, and you actually try it, you get it right in the one of the hip bones, and you can hear like the bones crack and break, and it falls again into what looks like a heap of bones. And you're just like, oh, okay, good. And then you hear the bones crackle again and begin to reassemble themselves. And it kind of gets up again with the head still lolling about. And it seems like, yeah.
Oh, for the love of...
Gosh darn it. And then I just croak toward Teague. That was AC 21 on Teague?
Yeah,
zombie?
That hits.
11 slashing.
11 slashing. Okay, so... All right, so Teague jumps up, slashes at the face, again, of the zombie, half in and half out, and you watch as this ash just puffs in his face. I need you to make Constitution saving throw for Teague.
Already ahead of you, that's a 16.
16. Again, its large nostrils just blow out this huge gust of air that just kind of blows the ash mostly away from its head and just kind of shakes it off, and does not seem to be affected by the ash effect. But as it tears into the face, it rips the skull straight off of the zombie, and you just watch it just fall to the ground and just roll, and does not seem to move or get up.
Oh, good.
With a battle chirp, Teague will move to box in that zombie.
Alrighty. Excellent. Okay. So that was your turn, Gropal, and Teague. Spasha, it's now your turn.
Can I focus a shot? Like, I'm gonna shoot him firebolt, but can I focus it on his head, kind of a thing? Like, now that I've seen that happen, or no? I don't know if there's a way to do that.
No, you can. You can do a called shot, but it will be at disadvantage because it's a very specific focus shot. So, and again, its head is just kind of lolling about. So
I'll just firebolt him. Just like burn it all.
Okay.
Sorry, Gigi. Don't mean to be yelling at you, but you put yourself here, sir. Hang on, sorry, it's not rolling. 23.
23 does hit.
That is 4 fire damage.
4 fire damage. Okay. All right. You shoot at the zombie, the firebolt hitting it square in the chest, and you just watch it disappear in its chest. And then as it looks down, like, and then it just kind of detonates from within, and you just watch the bones, not in large chunks, but small chunks, just scatter to the ground.
Red.
And you all watch for a moment, and it does not seem to be moving or reassembling itself. and for the moment, you all seem to be out of danger. I need Gorple. I need you to roll another Constitution saving throw for Teague. Bocek and Drovar, you can make another Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Nah, this affliction has my number. I rolled a total of 8.
Okay. How about you, Bocek?
5.
5. All right, you two. You two get more ash thrown on you.
I'm gonna sit down for a moment. Oh.
Yeah.
11 for Teague.
11 for Teague. Yeah, Teague actually just kind of jumps back slightly, avoiding the dust cloud entirely. But over the course of the next minute or so, Drovar, Bocek, you're able to kind of get this disgusting ash just out of your eyes, out of your nose, and the effect does dissipate.
Okay.
Once you do
pour,
so.
Pour a little water on my face and just.
Yeah, just kind of get it off. And it's thick. It's like chunky. It's it's not great. It's not great. But in the moment, you don't seem to be in any danger, but these are definitely probably the zombies that the sign was warning you of upon entering the ruins of Thunder Tree. At least now you know what they meant by, danger zombies, but you're unsure what they meant by plant monsters.
Watch the trees.
I don't trust
I
anything
mean,
now.
to be fair, in Chult, this is par for the course. I mean, jungle overgrows a ruin, ruin gets full of zombies. Pfft, this is normal. Come on.
Then
Maybe
what
building
kills
have
them?
things useful?
I can see why you left. Yeah. Yeah, worth taking a look. Figure nobody's been trying to loot that place if those guys have been in there.
All right. So you, Bocek, and I would assume Drovar, you make your way into the building. Interestingly enough, the eastern half of the building seems to be like an old common room. As you make your way, kind of looking around. But again, you do see a bar. The air you can smell a faint smell still of yeast, Bocek. You are very familiar with that smell. But there are a few barrels. You do find a few barrels that seem intact, and you kind of, knock on them slightly, and then you just kind of rip them open, and fortunately, the ale barrels are all dried up and long gone.
That's okay. I want to capture some of that wild yeast.
Yeah.
Okay. In the western portion of the building, you find the kitchens and the brewer's vats, which this would most likely be the area where you would find the wild yeast at. Bocek, make me for yeast, I'm gonna say, and what you do, just make me an investigation check, but because of your background, you get to do it with advantage.
I rolled 2 5s minus 2. That's a 3.
Yeah, it's just so overgrown with different. You can't actually you can see where the wild yeast is growing, but it's just contaminated with all of these different vines and plants that are just kind of breaking through the stone and areas of the building. So none of it seems very usable, unfortunately. But that's outside of that. That's really, you don't find much of anything else in this particular building.
Okay. Kind of poke around a little bit. And it's like, all right, well, I'm getting some air. Ugh.
While they're inside, may I climb to the top of this building to try to get a little bit better lay of the land?
Sure.
To see where...
AFK 1 second.
Yep.
I drew a picture of Jan.
All right. Very nice. Okay, so Vorpal, as you kind of climb up, you can actually see directly to the east of you is that tower that you saw as you were coming up the road. Let me clear that up for you. You get a better view. And there are these two large, massive-looking creatures. You can't tell exactly what they are, but they are just unmoving, but in front of this tower area. It's a little disturbing.
All right, I'm gonna hop over to this tree then.
Okay.
To just like definitely, I just want to look down the path. I'm not like trying to look at buildings. I just want to get like if I'm looking at road connections, kind of like, all right, what's this place looking like actually?
Okay. So in that instance, you do see that. Second. You do see that the road does extend and continue a little further down. There are there's these buildings, ruined buildings around here as well. And the road continues to go to follow further south. Does seem to fork the further you go down, but that's about as far as you're able to see at the moment.
Perfect. That's excellent. Yeah. So I'll kind of hop down onto Teague, and I'll be like, so looking a little bit further up from the top of that tree, there seems to be a tower, and I don't know, creatures outside it. I couldn't give you more details, so it's a distance. But looking south, there is a path that continues, and to the west and south of us it looks like 3 ruins from the edge of the buildings I can see.
Okay. Well, we know where path is to possible thing is southeast, so should we go that way first? And not near tower with crazy looking creatures up front?
I mean, they didn't start I don't see them moving toward us after that small scuffle. So unless they're deaf, I don't know if that's really too much of a worry in this moment.
Well, Bochek feeling pretty good, but if we near ruins, maybe we explore ruins. We take short break, have beer, sit for a few minutes, then we check out tower.
That's a possibility. I'm fine with sitting for a second, and I have to run AFK for one more second. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to just check these ruins to the southwest of us real quick to make sure nothing comes from behind us?
Sure.
Yes, that's what Bochek thinking. Maybe we check 3 ruins, make sure nothing sneak up on us, and if we get tired, we take short break after we clear everything before we head to tower.
All right, that's fine. Also, I think DM is the tower. The tower is up, right? So it's like on raised land.
Yeah, it's kind of like on a hill, and you can see that the top of the tower seems to be somewhat like caved in from the angle that you saw. But outside of that, there's some kind of like attached building to the side of it.
Honestly, I think getting to the tower is pretty cool because it would give us a good vantage point looking down on Thunder Tree ruins. But let's check out these ruins.
All right. So just to check, you handed out some good berries today?
Yeah, everyone has 7 except for Bochek and myself, who have 8. And I used 2 already, 1 to eat for me and my animal.
Okay. We all got 7, you said, and each one gives back 1 hit point.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to eat 6 of them.
You feel like you are in the Willy Wonka like movie that you just ate so many blue. You're so full, so goddamn full.
There is no way of knowing how fast that we are going.
Are you all right? Oh my god.
All right. So you continue to make your way south, and you're going to check the ruins to specifically which ones? These over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you make your way further down. These ruined side-by-side cottages looks as though they might have been the homes of possibly some prosperous shopkeepers or well-off farmers in their time. All that currently remains are collapsed walls and piles of debris. There are several young trees that have grown up in the midst of these ruins. Okay. So would all of you please make a perception check for me? Okay, we'll start with as Gorple and Bocek were the first ones there. Gorple, what did you get?
19 for me, 8 for Teague.
Okay, Bocek?
6.
6. Drovar.
Natural 20 for a 20.
All right. Basha.
That's an 8 for me, so clearly I'm staring at the trees going like any of these trees could attack at any moment.
Now you're thinking like a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Drovar, as Basha says this, and Drovar and Bocek, you just kind of chuckle to yourselves and you look, and Drovar, off by this tree on your right hand side, there is like this small little what looks like a little sapling, and it turns and it looks at you, and you're like, what? And at the same time, Bocek, you're kind of like chuckling to yourself as well. And you see where some of the trees have actually grown in this ruin as you're looking in. You see one of the small saplings just and actually turn and look at you with actual eyes, a nose, a mouth. And all of a sudden, at the same time, Drovar and Bocek, you watch as these small little tree creatures rush right at you. And that is where we are going to call it for the evening. And I will show you what they actually look like before we close out for the evening. Okay, so let's open that up real quick. So yeah, that's what these little creatures look like currently.
Okay.
And at first glance, they actually looked just like small little saplings, small trees. But your perception was much higher than their stealth checks. And as soon as Basha said that, and they just rushed right at you. Think feral little Groots.
Yeah.
I am Groot. You die.
Oh no. Bad Groot. Bad.
Yeah. So that was a great game, guys. That was an excellent game. That was so much fun.
Do not summon the tree monsters again. Don't.
You have now currently met the zombies and tree monsters that Sign was warning you about.
Well, we get through this. Then we've checked off everything on the warning list. I'm sure it's fine after this.
Yeah, nothing else could possibly be here to affect us. The
Stuff on the
sign
list?
only said those 2 things.
Right, we're fine. Oh yeah.
The sign can't be lying at all. It's only those things, those 2 things that you have to worry about. So excellent game, guys. That was great. Some good moments. You guys had some really good rolls this evening. That was really good, really good. So yeah, so thank you to my wonderful players.
Are we getting attacked by broccoli? What the
Okay, you know what? It's fine. I sketched it in like 2 seconds.
I'm okay with that. I was just curious.
Yours specifically, Gorple, will look like a piece of broccoli. Everyone else's, yeah, everyone else's will look like demented feral little Groots.
Perfect.
But yeah, no, great game, guys. Thank you so much. That was excellent. Thank you all to everyone who was watching. I want to thank a few folks for thank you, Lady Poopsie, for the raid. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in chat who is here watching and supporting everything that we all do, not just this game, but everything these amazing individuals who are my players actually do. Thank you for supporting what they do as well. We really do appreciate it. So we, as we move forward, you can see I just do want to point out a few things. I do try to add more things every now and then to the stream to make things a little fun, if not fun, just more informative. So I was able to improve on our little name title cards there. So they are now all in sync. You actually have more information about what our Twitter handles are and how you can reach us. So I hope that's helpful to all of you. Again, I would these things are just going to continue to happen. We're just going to keep improving things as we move forward. I will say, just as kind of like a for future a future thing to kind of look forward to. My players already know this. I was able to hire an artist to actually put together some artwork for all of my players and their characters. So I hope to have that done sooner rather than later. But I don't like to rush an artist. So I so far so good. We've seen some proofs, some drafts. They look amazing. Can't wait to see them completed, and I can't wait to share them with all of you. And I wouldn't be able to do any of those things without the support that I'm getting from all of you and from the community. So thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. My players appreciate that. And once we get them back, we'll be able to share them with you, not only on the stream, but maybe in new and interesting ways. So again, once more, thank you everybody for watching, for support. We actually have done. There will be a change as we actually end for the evening. You will actually be able to see the recent subscribers, the recent followers, and anybody who has tipped and is supporting what we're doing, including our wonderful patrons on Patreon. You will see all that as we end for the evening. I wanted to make sure that folks know how much we appreciate them by actually putting everything that they do on the stream as much as I can. So as I said, I want to try and improve things, but I also this is a very interactive platform, so I want to keep it that way and try to keep adding when I can. So again, thank you so much. So as we close out, I say we will as we end. Not only will you see all of those things, please stand by as we are going to raid a supporter that of our stream and the things that we do, but also someone that we should be sharing the love with. All the support that you've shown us, I'd really appreciate it if you could show them the same support as well. So we are going to raid Two to Your Head, a wonderful supporter, a wonderful person, a wonderful dad, who has been doing so great with his streams. He is playing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, some really good stuff there, especially since just watching him get scared of some things that's entertaining in itself. But he's just an amazing person. So please, as we end up for the evening, we're going to raid him. Please show him some love. he absolutely is a person who deserves all of it. All right. So again, with that, please be good to yourself. Please be good to others. Take care of others, and don't forget to take care of yourself. Till we see you next time. Take care.